Eastlink Community TV and Delmore Buddy Day Learning Institute proudly presents the African Nova Scotian Community's Ancestral Roots Awards.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to the DBDLI for providing me with this opportunity to speak to everybody in the room today. Loud cries, fingers clenched, ripped from your family, taken, black body. Home, no longer, black body. Boats, stacked, smells, death, hunger, pain, unimaginable, black body. Eyes have seen death before deceased, black body. Taken, thrown overboard, useless, property, money, black body. Raped, men, women, children, black body. Scorching sun, whipped in chains, dehydration, disposed. We own you, black body. Hundreds of years, black body, black body, black body. A phrase that my mom would often say would be, "Turn these lights off, you're not running out my damn light bill." Tonight, we're going to talk about turning on the lights for the lives of young people. What is our light, you might ask yourself? Our light is a glimmer of excitement, the effervescent, jubilant smile when we accomplish our goals and our dreams. The feeling of triumph when we conquer our demons. The positive, explosive energy conjuring within when we feel that we've made it. This is our light. Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. I've heard many people tell young people, you need to be realistic. That goal, that's just not going to work. If our ancestors chose to be mediocre, we wouldn't be here today. They would have died, and they would have willingly gave up. They did not, and we are here. They allowed their light to shine. The short poem is my depiction of only a fraction of what our ancestors have gone through. To make certain that we are here today to celebrate, to let our light shine. I urge you to think about the struggles that our ancestors have gone through, to be certain that we can sit here comfortably and enjoy food. I want you all to think about the steps you take in life, the things you do daily, and the fact that someone else had to endure hundreds and hundreds of years of bloodshed for us. There were many dreams, ambitions, love, hopes, prayers, skills, and great people lost to be sure we are standing today. They did not have a chance to let their light shine. Do not let the suffering be in vain. We are here because we, our ancestors, made sure we will live on. We need to encourage more shining lights. We are honoring young African Nova Scotian adults in our communities whose lights are shining, and collectively, we must do all we can to do the opposite of what my mother would say. We need to turn the lights on. So I'm going to talk about 4 points. Point number 1. As black people, we make up 3% of the Nova Scotian population, but we're 15% of the incarcerated population. There lies a problem. African Nova Scotian youth in Halifax between the ages of 18 and 24, 50% live in poverty. There lies a problem. In Halifax overall, black people, 32.9% live in poverty. Collectively, we have become complacent. And before someone pulls me off the stage, hear me out. And when I say collectively, I mean society as a whole. Individuals, pockets of people, small organizations, government divisions Large groups of people are all working in some capacity for the betterment of African Nova Scotian people. Notice how I did not say working together. We certainly are working, and it becomes evident through the events, through the community leaders, and through the created opportunities. We can be collaborative without being coordinated, and that is where I believe the issue is. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're getting a lot done. The statistics that I mentioned equate to thousands of people across the province, hundreds if not thousands of people in the city. If thousands of people suddenly left their job as a male person today, we would be up in arms. We would be outraged because we would no longer be able to get our mail. If the entire Citadel High walked out on Monday, that'd be in the news 10 times over. If all taxi drivers quit their jobs tonight, some of us might not be getting home. So what makes the numbers about African Nova Scotian people different? So when I say collectively we have become complacent, this is what I mean. Collectively, as a society, as a whole, it has to become everyone's issue. You wouldn't ask someone who broke their leg to fix their own leg. They need help. They need a doctor. They need to get there. So we shouldn't be asked the same. We have to come together collectively. There has been a large-scale, long-standing phenomena within the African Nova Scotian communities. We are very collaborative, but not as coordinated as we could be or should be. We seem to find ourselves in positions, sometimes all working for the same or similar issues, but in silos, or maybe not communicating as well with each other. I think that society as a large, not just the Black community, we all have to work together for the issues and for the statistics that I just mentioned. Where it becomes difficult for me is that our young people are caught directly in the middle of this. We need to turn the lights on. Due to systemic, cyclical, and historical barriers, we have generations of young people who did not and do not have the opportunity to turn their lights on. We need to turn the lights on. I'm going to talk about African Nova Scotia, or leadership in the African Nova Scotian community. The young African Nova Scotian leadership in the HRM is amazing. This is evidenced by tonight's events, young leaders in the room, those who were nominated, those who accepted awards. I'm confident you could go to any Black community, any community in HRM, and you're going to find young Black leaders. I'd like to talk briefly just about the leadership. And again, I'll speak for the collective, as I'm very much aware of leadership of different individuals, small pockets, or groups of people. I believe in the community, we have leaders, not often leadership, and I think there's a difference, there's a distinct dichotomy and differentiation between a leader and leadership. Leaders are individuals who inspire others and are doing great things. Leaders are individuals who people look up to, people can see. Leaders may be in positions of power such as government, nonprofit, and small organizations. With leadership, these are people who do all of the things that leaders do, but they are mentoring, coaching, supporting, writing references, attending events, interacting with people. More of us need to lead from behind and allow younger people for their voices to be in the forefront. Leading from behind means planting seeds and watching them grow. Leading from behind means not being the face of it because it gives a young person an opportunity. Leadership is not defined by the amount of money you take home biweekly, the position you hold, or the circle of high-ranking individuals you acquaint yourself with. Leadership is measured by the amount of people you mentored and the lives that you impact. We have enough leaders, we need more leadership. You are not a leader until you produce a leader that can produce another leader. It's not optional in our community to not cultivate, mentor, coach, and elevate our young people. We don't get to opt out. We don't get to go home, close the door, and forget about it. We need to reach back and pull as many young people up as possible To me, it's a necessity. Again, we need to turn the lights on. In our communities, we as African Nova Scotian people are in pain. This can be visualized by our action or inaction to the system of historical and cyclical phenomena that is happening to us. And when I say inaction, I'm speaking to the numbness that has happened to some folks in our communities. Young people and young leaders in our communities are hurting. Collectively, we need healing. Collectively, we need to come together. I have been to meetings that turn into meetings about meetings. We have the intellect, knowledge, research, and power to enact real, true, and lasting change. But young people need to be a part of this. Youth have the answers. They have the ability to foster change when provided with the opportunity. The same excitement that we get or that we've got when we went to see Black Panther, we need to bring that same passion, that same excitement when it's getting down to business. Change in Halifax happens in waves, and we've got to be on the next one. We have got to be, and we just need to believe that we have what we need. And I think that we should be worried, and it's a bit of an interesting phenomenon and scary when it becomes normal that a shooting happens in our community. We need to begin to turn the lights on. I would also like to briefly touch on mental health in our community. Who's heard the phrase, "What happens in my house stays in my house"? Another phrase from my mom. So this phrase, coupled with the notion of being a strong Black man, has stifled me to the point of not wanting to speak about how I feel. And I've been taught not to cry because I'm a man. Not true. Bullshit. As Black people, we always have to be strong. Strong Black woman is often heard, as well as strong Black man. I would not want to share my feelings because I didn't want to take it outside of the house, and because I meant to be strong. A sign of strength is sharing how you're feeling internally, reaching out for help, and crying when you need to. A funny analogy that I have in terms of crying, and hear me out, is if you needed to pee, you're gonna go. And if you don't, you may end up in the hospital. If you need to cry, you need to cry. It's a similar chemical makeup when those feelings come and you have to let it out. If you don't let it out, think about what would happen if you didn't go pee. Responsibility. I believe that as a person, you should make it your responsibility to ensure that everyone you come in contact with is doing well. I know that I did not get to where I am without other older individuals making it their responsibility to make sure that I was okay. Imagine you're not responsible. Imagine if you weren't responsible for your child, you just fed them because you kind of cared. If you're responsible for something, you're obligated by any means to ensure whatever you need to do, that it gets done. We need to take it as our responsibility that our young Black leaders have a voice and the ability to produce leaders within the next generation. I'm not talking about reaching out because you kind of want to. You make it your responsibility to take care of each youth and each person you come across. Do not make any of what you do or what you're doing about money. Make it about the people. Make it about the communities. And most of all, make it about the young people. The true measure of your character is when the money is gone, ask yourself, how much is your character worth? Money will come and go, but your reputation, character, and integrity can leave lasting impacts. I have yet to see a gravestone that has your bi-weekly paycheck etched in it. I have seen gravestones that did say, an amazing grandmother, a great father. Remember this, there's not going to be a moving van behind your hearse. But people will remember the impact and the way that you've made them feel. But there will not be, at least I have not seen, a U-Haul that will be following behind your hearse. So, if there's something that you want to do in life, the key is not to work in silence. The key is to tell somebody every day. When you start telling people, the world will move out of your way. If people don't know what you want to do, they cannot help you. Your words and your thoughts make a physical thrust into the world, and the world will get the hell out of your way. Tell someone every day. As cliche as it may sound, the graveyard is the richest place in the world. There are hopes, there are dreams, and there are lights that never had a chance to be turned on. It's the start that stops most people. Don't be most people. Prepare for losses. If we factor loss as a part of the equation of winning, when we experience a loss, it will not hit as hard. I learned this lesson the hard way. I just got a car and a haircut and a pay raise, and I felt like I was on top of the world. Life was going well for me. In the middle of helping a young person with a resume, I received a phone call that my younger brother found his father deceased. This was my stepdad, and this was the man who raised me for 12 years of my life. Despair, sadness, and pain were waiting for me at the end of the day. I did not prepare for losses. Although unexpected, and one cannot prepare for losses of such magnitude, one must know and prepare that a loss can happen. Losses are part of success and a part of the journey. Turning on the lights. You are going to fail, you're going to fail. You're going to fail big. But when you fail, fail forward. Don't let the failure set you back. Fail forward. Fail into the next success. Next, stop waking up by accident. Stop just waking up. Some of you may have heard the analogy, be a lion, don't be a gazelle. And if you think about it, what's the lion doing every time he's out? He's waiting for the next prey. He's just waiting. Don't wake up like a gazelle and just playing defense the entire time. As soon as your feet hit the floor, boom, boom, it's on. You're going to be great, and you're going to accomplish your goals. A lot of the time we settle, and we take less and do less than we're capable of. You wouldn't settle if your paycheck was short. You wouldn't settle for subpar service at a restaurant, so why would you settle less of yourself? Wake up each day with a purpose. Attack your fears, conquer your goals, and strive for greatness. Greatness is within you. You just have to believe that. We often defer to the phrase, youth are the future leaders. And although this is true, we blame ills of today's society on them, and we forget we are the leaders right now. What is our responsibility in the bigger picture? And what role do we play and should we play today for a better tomorrow? Yes, youth are the future leaders, but we are the leaders right now in control. And we have to have a responsibility to cultivate a better future for our young people. These type of conversations have been happening years before I was born, years before I was thought of. And we've been doing this for a long, long, long time. We have to make a change. There's no opting out. People are hurting. People are dying. I know I'm not the only one that can say they're tired. They're tired of it. Things have to change. Very few battles are won under ideal circumstances. The amount of power and opportunity in this room is astounding. We often do not realize the power and the potential until we all come together. People will not become who they want to because they're too attached to who they've been. You have to fight through the pain, and on the other side of pain is your greatest success. In our quest to discover our own light and turn the lights on for others, ask youth this question: what problems do you want to solve? Not who do you want to be when you grow up? Youth are our future, but we are the now. We must take responsibility to turn the lights on. Beautiful, intelligent, unique, kings and queens, black body, ancient history. We have been here, black body. Thank you, and Wakanda forever.
Thanks for watching this video. Eastlink TV is the home of community content. Make sure you don't miss any of it by clicking subscribe here.